Hi there. I'm back with the second part of the Hunter's/Edison gene, also known as, or also labeled as ADD or ADHD, and I just wanted to tell you guys the actual name that the scientists call the gene. They call it the DAT1 gene or the DRD4 gene. So that's what they call it. And actually, what I've just been reading in my book here is that there are some groups of Indians who, or I guess natives or Indians, whatever you like to say, who have chosen not to go to agriculture, who have still continued being hunters. And actually, the Athabascan Indians of Western Canada, they are still practicing, their hunting techniques, and I think that that's awesome. And so there's a few people that a few people who have written little things in the book here, little comments in the book about just how it was like to be around these people, and they say that they really speak heart to heart. They're very spiritual, and have a really good connection with nature, a really good respect with nature, and also scanning like auditory scanning and visual scanning all the time, and they're very sensitive to little nuances and stuff. And they, and also even if nowadays there are people with the hunter's gene who are just still living in Western society, and a lot of them actually go into entrepreneurship, and the people that have kind of researched that part say that they're very just straight to the point, not much small talk, just right to the point kind of stuff. And they have that urge to go out and hunt. I guess if they can't go out and hunt for animals, they're going out and hunting for success. So I think that's kind of what, why they go into entrepreneurship. Sorry, it's getting hot. I'm gonna take this off. So there is a part in this book that I wanted to read. Just this little part about the societies that this guy has observed, the current societies that this guy has observed. So it's Dr. Will Crinan, and he says, "I've worked among indigenous hunting societies in many parts of the world, from Asia to the Americas. Over and over again, I see among their adults and children the constellations of behaviors that we call ADD. In those societies, however, these behaviors are highly adaptive and actually contribute to the society's success." So I think we really need to examine that and really need to appreciate that. I think it's horrible that we've labeled this a disorder. I'm finding out more and more about it and how essential it really is. And we've labeled it a disorder. And even if you haven't, even if you don't tell somebody, even if you don't tell someone something, if you think it about them, it still affects them. So even if you're not saying, oh, you have this disorder and it's a wrong thing and stuff like that, even if you're, and I'm sure people are saying that to their kids, you got this disorder and you need to be fixed, when they're just being themselves. They're just doing what comes natural to them. And I think that it's just such a travesty that that kids are being drugged. Oh my goodness, like, it's just madness. It's really this, it's just really crazy. I just can't, it's just really hard for me to accept that that has happened to so many, like, amazing people. Like, people that I'm close with, actually. Like, a lot of people that I'm close with, like, they were on Ritalin when they were kids. My best friend, my father's, I'm sorry, my kids' father. This happened to them when they were kids, and they're some of the most amazing people I know. Like, they're those people that can really, like, I look at them and I'm like, you can do anything if you put your mind to it. If you want it, you can do it. And, like, they're really amazing people, and they definitely have ADD or ADHD, or like the hunter's gene. I can see it in them, and it's really, I can see, like, when they are nurtured to be themselves, it really brings out the best in them, and they can actually bloom and be themselves, and use those characteristics for, just for the benefit of humanity, I think, and just the betterment of their lives and stuff. So I guess I asked the question, why is it coming back? And I guess to answer that question, I guess we have to go back a little bit. This anthropologist called Jacob Bronowski, sorry. He wrote the book called The Ascent of Man, and he observed that the agricultural revolution started about 12,000 years ago. Now, if you look at the weather patterns of the Earth, and I guess the Ice Age and stuff like that, you'll see that the weather patterns really leveled out about 12,000 years ago. So I guess society, human society saw that that things were leveling out, and they saw agriculture as the best route to go to to ensure the greatest survival. And so I guess it is like, I do think that we are definitely a product of our environment, most times, and our environment changed and became more consistent, so we were able to do agriculture. For most of the period of the Earth before that, our weather was quite inconsistent, and so for most of human civilization, we've been hunter/gatherers, and I think that is it's nothing. You really need to take that into consideration when you're just trying to find out who you really are. I do think we really need to look into the past to find out who we really are. I don't think the past can be ignored, because I do think we have, like, cellular memory, and just also like ancestral memory. Just like kind of on a spiritual level, or I think every action, every thought has an imprint on the field, and we are a part of that field, and we can't escape. We just can't escape that, and I think we really need to understand where we've come from. So new agricultural findings have found that tools in Africa, like hunting tools in Africa, 6 million years old. So, like, even the humanoids, when we weren't even fully human, like Homo sapiens, when we weren't even Homo sapiens yet, we were hunting. And so, 6 billion years opposed to 12,000 years is a long time. And I think we need to really take into consideration our natural instincts, and just like what is natural for us, and I think that those things should be, especially if they're coming up, so prevalent in our society and especially in our kids today. I don't think that that should be ignored, and I don't think that it should be labeled as a disorder. I think that it should be. I think that you should take your kids outside and get them foraging for berries, or, like get them to stalk a rabbit. Like they'd probably love it. Really, my kids. I know when it's chaos inside the house, I take them outside and I give them a purpose. Like my daughter loves going outside and picking raspberries. She'll do it for hours if she could. If there was that many berries, she'd do it for hours. And my son just, loves just going in the trails, and, they just, they want to be outside, and they want to have a purpose, and they're good at it. I think that's really get your kids doing what they're good at, and these kids are good. They're really good at those things. They have a skill set. It's not a disorder. It's a skill set, and those specific skill sets have saved our asses over time and time again over the past 6 billion years, excluding the past 12,000 years, and I think that's really is really an important thing, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So I guess what I'm asking you to do is really maybe if you want some more information, maybe get the book or get a different book on it. There's probably many different books on it, and just try to have an appreciation for the changes that are going on. Oh, I guess one thing that I forgot to mention is the weather. Why is it coming up again? Why are we seeing so many kids labeled ADHD? So why are these characteristics and these skill sets coming up again? Well, it's to do with the weather again. Before the weather, when we were hunters, the weather was very up and down, kind of chaotic. We couldn't really predict it. And then around 12,000 years ago, it leveled out, got very predictable, and then we saw that that farming would be the best way to go. But now the weather is starting to change drastically. It's getting really hard to predict what's going on. Perfect example, I live in central British Columbia, and this summer was I think there was at least I'd say a month, maybe even more, of no days without any rain. Sorry, I think that's double negative. No rain, and the forest fires were insane, the most insane I've ever seen. It was crazy. It was really crazy. It was let's see, a week and a half ago. I've seen the crazy most. I was this is biblical stuff. I looked up and the sky was it was black and red and smoking, bubbly and smoky stuff. It was crazy. It was Ghostbusters sky shit. I thought ghouls were gonna start hopping out of that huge cloud. It was crazy. And yeah, I've never seen that before. And then another year, just 4 years ago, there was no snow at Christmas time, no snow. And then the year after that, it was there was so much snow, trees were breaking in the forest. And then obviously there was floods and stuff like that in the springtime. So anyway, what I'm saying is the weather is changing. Mother Earth is anticipating this change or just being affected by it. So it's I think we all have that gene inside of us, but I think the weather patterns, what is going on in the world, is bringing that out. I think it's triggering that. I can't remember what that's called. But anyway, I'm running out of time, so I'm sure I'll be back with more on that.